Alright, yo guys, how's it going? It's your boy Rubik here coming guys today with another video. In today's video, we're going to be reading the Bible while playing Call of Duty. And I know there might be some rejections to this, saying that it's not necessarily holy, you might be disrespecting the religion to be playing, you know, like a violent video game while reading the Bible. But I did really think about that, and I think we have to go back to my video about praying during video games to get like my opinion on that. And I think it's just best to be making the Lord a daily part of your life. And I really do think that these words still have the same power and the same life and the same spiritual impact even next to a video game than they do in any other sort of context. I feel like this might be a little bit more entertaining. Do with that what you will. I don't know. I think this might be good for some people to at least be hearing the words of the Bible in perhaps a more entertaining way if they wouldn't have done it beforehand. And I don't know, I think this is a good way for me to be reading my Bible personally, just good for me as well. And we're just going to start off in Genesis 31, and if this goes well, we'll keep on doing it this way, and if it doesn't go well, we will stop doing it this way. So this is just a test one. This is just a test run, so you know, bear with me. Alright guys, so Genesis 31, let's just get right into the video. Is the NIV version simpler? I feel like you might start reading the NIV version today, because I just got the Bible app and it has to look at all these different versions. New International. Yeah, see, this is like in regular English, to be honest. So Jacob heard that Laban's sons were saying, Jacob has taken everything our father owned and has gained all his wealth from what belonged to our father. See, this makes so much more sense, I feel like. And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude towards him was not that what it had been. And then the Lord said unto Jacob, go back to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent word to Rachel and Leah to come out of the fields where his flocks were. He said to them, I see that your father's attitude towards me is not what it was before, but the God of my father has been with me. You know that I've worked for you, for your father with all of my strength, yet your father has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. However, God has not allowed him to harm me. If he said, the speckled ones will be your wages, then all of the flocks gave birth to speckled young. And if he said, the streaked ones will be your wages, then the flocks bore streaked young. So God taken away your father's livestock and has given them to me. And breeding season, I had once had a dream in which I looked up and saw the male goats mating with the flock were streaked, speckled, or spotted. The angel of God said to me in a dream, Jacob, I answered, here I am. And he said, look up and see all the male goats mating with the flock are streaked, speckled, and spotted, for I have seen all that Laban has doing to you. And I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar, and where you made a vow to me.
Capturing Charlie.
Now leave this land at once and go back to your native land. Then Rachel and Leah replied, do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estate? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Not only has he sold us, but he has used up what he has paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God took away from our father belongs to us and our children. So do whatever God has told you. Then Jacob put children and his wives on camels, and he drove all his livestock ahead of him, along with the goods he had accumulated in Padam Aram, to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. When Laban had gone to share his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household gods. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban, the Aramean, by not telling him that he was running away. So he fled with all he had, crossed the Euphrates River, and headed for the hill country of Gilead. Laban pursues Jacob. On the third day, Laban, I think it's Laban, was told that Jacob had fled, taking his relatives with him. He pursued Jacob for 7 days and caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. Then God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream at night and said to him, "Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad." Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country of Gilead when Laban overtook him, and Laban and his relatives camped there too. And then Laban said to Jacob, "What have you done? You've deceived me, and you've carried off my daughters like captives in war." See, so God just said not to say anything to Jacob, good or bad, and then what does he do? He immediately says something to Jacob. He's questioning him and all this stuff. "Why did you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so I could send you away with joy and singing to the music of timbrels and harps? You didn't even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye. You have done a foolish thing. I have the power to harm you, but last night the God of your father said to me, 'Be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad.' Now you have gone off because you have longed to return to your father's household. But why did you steal my gods?" I don't know what stealing their gods means. Rather, that's like idols, or it's kind of confusing. But Jacob answered Laban, "I was afraid because I thought you would take your daughters away from me by force. But if you find anyone who has your..." Dude, this has to be translated, right? This has to be the word goods. "If you find anyone who has your goods, that person shall not live. In the presence of our relatives, see yourself whether there is anything of yours here with me, and if so, take it." Yeah, see, so that literally has to be goods. I don't know why it says gods. 3 different. Dude, it has to be steal your goods. If you see any of your goods here with me, if so, take it. Yeah, I'm so confused as to why it says gods right there. Now, Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the gods. See, dude, this is making me angry. It has to be goods. So Laban went into Jacob's tent and Leah's tent, and into the tent of the 2 female servants, but he found nothing. After he came out of Leah's tent, he entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the household goods and put them inside her camel's saddle and was sitting on them. Laban searched through everything in the tent but found nothing. Rachel said to her father, "Don't be angry, my lord. I cannot stand up in your presence. I'm having my period." So he searched but could not find anything, but could not find the household goods. Jacob was angry and took Laban to task. "What is my crime?" he asked Laban. "How have I wronged you that you hunt me down? Now that you have searched through all of my goods..." See, now it says goods regularly. Now it doesn't say gods anymore. Right? Oh my goodness. "What if you found that belongs to your household? Put it in front of your relatives and mine, and let them judge between the 2 of us. I have been with you for 20 years now. Your sheep and goats have not miscarried, nor have I eaten rams from your flocks. I did not bring you animals torn by wild beasts. I bore the loss myself, and you demanded payment from me for whatever was stolen by day or night. This was my situation. The heat consumed me in the daytime, and the cold at night, and sleep fled from my eyes. It was like this way for 20 years. I was in your household. I worked for you for 14 years and your 2 daughters and 6 of your flocks, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been with me, you would surely have sent me away empty-handed. But God has seen my hardship and the toil of my hands, and last night he rebuked you. Laban answered Jacob, the women are my daughters, the children are my children, and the flocks are my flocks. All you see is mine. Yet what I can do today about these daughters of mine, or about the children they have borne? Come now, let's make a covenant, you and I, and let it serve as a witness between us. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. He said to his relatives, gather some stones. So they took stones and piled them in a heap, and they ate there by the heap. Laban called it Jager Sadutha, and Jacob called it Gilead. Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today. That is why it is called Gilead. It is also called Mizpah, which is because he said, may the Lord keep watch between you and me when we are away from each other. If you mistreat my daughters, or if you take any wives besides my daughters, even though no one is with us, remember that God is a witness between you and me. Laban also said to Jacob, here is this heap, and here is this pillar I have set up between you and me. This heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness that I have not go past this heap to your side to harm you, and that you may not go past this heap and pillar to my side to harm me. And the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. So Jacob took an oath in the name of the fear of his father Isaac. He offered a sacrifice there in the hill country and invited his relatives to a meal, and they had eaten, and they spent the night there. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them, and then he left and returned home.
They're taking Baker.
Alright guys, so that is going to be the end of Genesis 31. Let's see where we're at. 13. So I think we do have enough time for a second chapter. Jacob prepares... Man, I'm having so much saliva today for some reason. Jacob prepares to meet Essau. Jacob also went on his way, and the angels of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, this is the camp of God. So he named that place Mahanaim. Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Essau in the land of Seir, the country of Edom. He instructed them, this is what you say to my lord Essau. Your servant Jacob says, I have been staying with Laban and have remained there till now. I have cattle and donkeys, sheep and goats, male and female servants. Now I am sending this message to my lord, that I may find favor in your eyes. When the messengers returned to Jacob, they said, we went to your brother Essau, and now he is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. In great fear and distress, Jacob divided the people who were with him into 2 groups, and the flocks and the herds and the camels as well. He thought, if Essau comes and attacks one group, the group that is left may escape. Then Jacob prayed, O God, my father Abraham, God of my father Isaac, Lord, you said who said to me, go back to your country and your relatives, and I will make you prosper. I am unworthy of all the kindness and faithfulness you have shown your servant. I only had my staff when I crossed this Jordan. but now I have become two camps. Save me, I pray, from the hands of my brother Essau, for I am afraid he will come and attack me, and also the mothers with their children. But you have said, I will surely make you prosper, and will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be counted. Wow, that was a very powerful prayer, guys. He spent the night there, and from what he had with him, he selected a gift for his brother Essau: 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He put them in the care of his servants, each herd by itself, and said to his servants, "Go ahead of me and keep some space between the herds." He instructed the one in the lead, "When my brother Essau meets you and asks, 'Who do you belong to, and where are you going, and who owns all these animals in front of you?' Then you are to say, 'They belong to your servant Jacob. They are a gift sent to my lord Essau, and he is coming behind us.'" He also instructed the second and the third and all the others who followed the herds. They are to say the same thing to Essau when you meet him. "And be sure to say, 'Your servant Jacob is coming behind us,' for he thought, 'I will pacify him with these gifts I am sending on ahead. Later, when I see him, perhaps he will receive me.' So Jacob's gifts went on ahead of him, but he himself spent the night in the camp." Jacob wrestles with God. That night Jacob got up and took 2 of his wives and 2 of his female servants and his 11 sons and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all of his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip. Guys, I literally just saw this verse in Route 60, the Biblical Highway, last night, which is a very interesting documentary. So that his hip was wrenched, and he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go until you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon of the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. Let's go ahead and go on to 33. Okay, this is going to be a shorter chapter. So Jacob is finally meeting Essau. Jacob looked up, and there was Essau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the 2 female servants. But he put the female servants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. But Essau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. Oh, that's good. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they left. Then Essau looked up and saw the women and children. "Who are these with you?" he asked. Jacob answered, "They are the children God has graciously given your servant." Then the female servants and their children approached and bowed down. Next, Leah and her children came and bowed down. Last of all came Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. Essau asked, "What's the meaning of these flocks and herds I met?" "To find favor in your eyes, my lord," he said. But Esau said, I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. No, please, said Jacob. If I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift from me. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God, now that you have received me favorably. Please accept the present that was brought to you, for God has been gracious to me, and I have all that I need. And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted it. Then Esau said, let us be on our way, I'll accompany you. But Jacob said to him, my Lord knows the children are tender, and that I must care for your ewes and cows, and that are nursing their young. If they are driven hard just one day, all of the animals will die. Let my Lord go on ahead of his servants, while I move along slowly at the pace of the flocks and herds before me, and the pace of my children, until I come to my Lord in Seir. Esau said, then let me leave some of my men with you. But why do that? Jacob asked. Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord. So that day Esau started on his way back to Seir. Jacob, however, went to Succoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place is called Succoth. So Jacob came from the Padan Aram after he arrived safely at the city of Shechem and Canaan, and camped within sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he brought from the sons of Hamor, the father of the Shechem, the plot of ground where he pitched his tent. There he set up an altar and called it El Ilahi Ezero. Alright guys, I feel like this is a pretty good place to end. It's a pretty beautiful story. I really like the prayer in the middle of it. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to say amen while I'm after reading prayers that other people said in the Bible. I'm not. I'll have to Google that for next time. Honestly, I'm not sure. But I really did enjoy the prayer in the middle of it. It was a very powerful prayer if you sort of make it for yourself as well. And this is a very beautiful story of him coming to meet his brother. I really did like it. Yeah guys, just a really great reading today, to be honest, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And if you did, I'll see you guys in the next one. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.